Okay. Welcome all to the Black Column Podcast. I am your host, Jabia, aka the Crew Philosopher.
And thank you. You remember this time. And I'm also your host.
That's
Shannon.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I replay the last episode that we did where Shannon chewed me out for introducing her to the podcast. So I made it a point. I gotta let Shannon do her thing today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And
yes.
I also want to shout Jabia out. He's not getting off the hook for this. That you were late to our recording this morning, so here we are.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look.
Later than usual.
Yeah, today I fulfilled every black stereotype there was. I'm embarrassed. Mm-hmm. We supposed to do this early in the morning, and I did not uphold my end of the bargain. So I am apologizing to Shannon. So if she seems a little bit more ticked off than usual, blame me. But yeah, we had a debate last night. The last presidential debate that I almost missed, if not for Shannon reminding me that we had a debate again. So, Shannon, what did you think?
Well, I thought what everyone thought, which is the fact that it was very tame and calm. So therefore, a lot of people equated that to be boring compared to the last debate. Mm-hmm. I actually didn't pay attention to the last half, which I didn't intend to do that, but I just drifted off just because there was really nothing going on.
Yeah.
Overall, though, besides the fact that it was boring, I felt like it was much better. I feel like a lot of people were able to get their points across. Trump didn't do horribly. I mean, he was still saying a lot of things that weren't true, but he was also mixing that in with the few things that he was saying that were accurate points. So yeah. I feel like his overall tame attitude kind of blended his lies in with his facts, which was also not a great thing. But yeah, I think he did better than last time, and Biden, I guess, did better than last time too, because they were actually able to talk. I don't really know. Biden, I feel like will still get. To me, I still think Biden did a better job than Trump. But yeah, they were both better than last time.
So here's my takeaway. You said earlier that the debate wasn't as lively, chaotic as the first debate was. So many people were taking that, saying that this was a boring debate. I didn't feel that way. I go into all of these debates.
You were bored.
No, I didn't. I said specifically, I said this debate is not the chaos that I wanted. I specifically said it's not boring, but I wanted chaos. I'm pretty sure I said that.
I'm gonna pull up the receipts.
You want to get the receipts? I'm almost positive I said it's not boring.
Oh no! What you said this. No. You said this debate is too tame for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did say that. You said it's not boring, but I want chaos. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. And so I think that's what people were really feeling. It's not that they thought it was boring. It just when you that first debate, if you go into this for entertainment value like I do, because really we're not learning anything because we didn't. Shannon, the reason why I made Shannon go first with her recap is because I wanted to hear if she would say anything substantive. She didn't. You know why? Because they didn't tell us anything last night.
No.
We pretend like we get information from these things. We don't. It's why I think debates are actually the worst possible barometer in determining who should be president, personally speaking. Mm-hmm. But, oh my God, it's your TV. That scared me. I'm like, whose face is that? My bad.
Sorry, guys.
You're okay. But my thoughts on the debate, I thought Trump did a phenomenal job. And here's what I mean, people. Trump has created a separate ecosystem for himself, separate from his opponent. So Joe Biden is being judged. Well, in this case, both of these men have very low bars to have to pass. Joe Biden has to prove when he goes up there that he's not an old man. Mm-hmm. He's not losing it. Trump has to prove that he's competent. And so you have both of these old white dudes being judged by the lowest standards for the highest office in the land. Yep. It's the most incredible thing we will probably witness for the next 20, 30 years. That's number one. Number two, I thought the moderator did a very good job as well.
Oh, yeah.
Very
way
good
better
job.
Than Chris Wallace. Actually, Chris Wallace said that he was jealous. He wished that he was able to moderate that debate. He did say that.
But here's the thing, though. She had help in part because of the automatic turning off the mic. So
how many times did that happen though? Because I feel like that only happened I feel like I only saw it happen like 2, maybe 3 times, unless I wasn't paying attention that closely.
No, that's pretty much the count that I have is like 2 or 3, but that's the thing, Shannon. So the cutting off of the mic was only for the opening 2-minute statements,
Okay.
right? And so what happened was the speakers, President Trump and Joe Biden, you had like an internal clock. So a lot of times they were stopping before the 2-minute mark because you didn't want to be talking and then mid sentence your mic goes out. So that's why I'm saying that she has some help, because that slight rule made each gentleman tone down a little bit and really make sure that they was giving concise answers, not giving these long-winded answers. And so it was an incredible change by the presidential debate commission that I think they should keep from this day going on.
Yeah.
But other than that, didn't learn anything. I was going into this seeing if each one accomplished their goal, and they both did. This was kind of like the vice presidential debate. Joe Biden accomplished that he's not. Well, he conveyed to his supporters that he's not all the way gone. He still has some fire. I thought he had a much better healthcare plan, more detail oriented. Trump. Here's where Trump did a great job. Trump had to prove to his base that he still had it, right? After he caught the coronavirus, he it was a quick turnaround.
Yep.
But even when you saw him, he was Trump, but he was not his usual, animated, ridiculous self. And that's what people look. That's what they like about Trump. He's spunky. He's funny. He's charismatic. And so that last night was like the first time where I looked at Trump and I said, he's officially 100% back. Like that was Trump, the hands, doing his thing. That was Trump. He was back. So I thought they both accomplished what they set out to accomplish, which is probably a win for Biden because he's ahead. So he's kind of just, holding on to the lead. I think this race is over. I think Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah. Well, the race was over before this debate. It was just something for us to watch.
Yeah, I think Joe Biden is going to win this. However, one caveat is I do think his quote unquote 9-point lead is built on sand. So we have 13 days until the election. Normally, in any other year, Shannon, if you got a 9-point lead 13 days before an election, game, set, wrap. 2 things that have me a little bit, okay, let's wait and see. Number one, both of these dudes are old as hell. Joe Biden could just die.
Stop. Don't put that in the universe.
Shannon, he is past the age that people die ordinarily.
Yes, I know. I get that. But don't put into the universe that he'll die before the election.
Look, I didn't say that. I'm saying it could happen.
Oh, okay.
He could have a stroke.
I mean, yes.
Who knows what can happen?
He can die. A lot of people think that he won't make it through his whole term. I also think that. I just don't want him to die before the election. Just hold out. If you're going to die, just wait 13 days. That's all.
Oh, wow, Shannon. What great compassion for the man.
I mean, of course, I don't want him to die. I'm just saying but you already put the idea out there. So I'm just saying if he is going to die, then just.
You make it sound like he can control when he dies.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
The age of these candidates make it so that they are more, for example, anybody could technically die before an election. What I'm saying is that the age of these candidates make it more likely, even though it's significantly a small probability, it is higher than, for example, Barack Obama, because they're the age where old men die. And so because of that, there is a increased probability that anything can happen. Number 2, Trump is making headway with a small percentage of the black male vote, right? All he needs to do, he does not need to win the popular vote. People keep watching the popular vote polls. That's not what he needs to do. He needs to win in swing states. And his chipping away strategy is a good strategy. You chip away. And see, here's the thing. He's not even telling black men not to vote, which in 2016, I don't know if you saw the reports that's what was going on with the Trump. They wanted black people to just not vote. This time, he's flipping. Yep. When you flip a vote, it's like a double positive. If you get somebody to stay home, that's one thing. If you can get somebody to not only vote, but just who was voting for Biden, now they vote for you, it's like a double positive. And so he's doing a good job chipping away. Even in the debate, if you notice, he made it a point when he spoke about the crime bill. He made it a point to say, you locked up thousands of mostly black men. All right. He said it like 2 or 3 times. And then he said, oh, and they remember, Joe, they remember, if you can see by the voting in the polls, they're going to make you pay Joe Biden. So his camp has the internal polling numbers that this is a winning strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the second thing going for Trump, is that black men and like black women are not high on the Democratic Party. Matter of fact, they don't even like Joe Biden. Third thing, no one talked about this, but you tell me if you buy my theory, Shannon. The coronavirus numbers are going up at an insane rate right now.
Yes.
Joe Biden is actually winning with seniors right now versus Donald Trump. What happens, though, here's what I'm trying to say. We know that senior citizens are especially susceptible to getting serious complications or dying from the coronavirus, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if in certain swing states, the coronavirus is just spreading from person to person, that you have a significant number of senior citizens that are hospitalized by the time November 3rd comes around?
Oh, then I guess that's a problem. Unless they all voted early or by mail, which I hope most of them did because they don't want to leave their house to go to the polls. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that the majority of them did that. But that could be a problem if they didn't and they're in the hospital. But again, don't put that kind of
I'm just saying, these are the things that I'm watching because this is an incredibly unusual year. And by the way, once again, in most of these swing states, I mean, Trump is, like I said, he's tied in Texas, so he could win Texas. Mm-hmm. I think he's tied in like Florida. He could win Florida. He's down in like, what was it? I think Pennsylvania, about 5. Margin of error for those polls was like 3 or 4 points. Like, people who are talking about this as if it's a slim. Now, I think Biden's going to win because the polls have been consistent. That's different than saying that this is a slam dunk for Biden. I do not feel that at all. Matter of fact, Nate Silver had something where he was looking at 3 swing states. And basically, in 2 scenarios, if Joe Biden won 2 specific swing states, his chances of winning the presidency was like 86, 87%. But there was one last scenario, and I wish I screenshot it, where it shows Trump winning 2 swing states and Biden only winning 1. His chances of winning the presidency drops to like 73 or 74%.
Okay. Well, we all know that this is going to be a very close race. It's actually very fascinating to watch. It's like I'm counting down the day until everything blows up. Basically like a season finale, basically, is what election day is. And this is going to be different. This is going to be a different type of election in terms of we're probably not going to get the results right away like we usually get in elections because of all the mail-in ballots, things like that. So we're going to be waiting for who knows how long before we can actually get like a decision, which is...
Here's the thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think regardless of who wins, it's going to be a shit show in November because...
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think each side is going to have a reasonable case, especially if Joe Biden blows Trump out the water, like the margin he wins by in all of these swing states is so large that it can't be challenged, then it'll be a smoother transition of power. If Trump or Biden win these swing states by, a couple of thousands, that then sets up the possibility that there was an undercount. You can request a recount. You can challenge the outcome of certain states. You can question when did they receive the ballots, because I think in some states ballots are only valid up to 3 days after the election, but it had to be postmarked before the election, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have all of these scenarios where if it's close and Trump challenged the election and it goes to the Supreme Court to decide, I mean, there's a reasonable chance that the Supreme Court rules in his favor for
especially
a second
since
term.
Amy Coney Barrett will probably most likely be confirmed.
Oh yeah, that was always going to happen, though, Shannon.
Yeah, but still, that's not going to help.
So I'm saying, everyone go vote. These are just scenarios that me and Shannon are playing out right now. Go vote,
especially if you live in New York. Early voting starts this weekend, right? Tomorrow. Saturday?
I don't know. I got
I think it is.
my fast pass. Did you get
Mm-hmm.
that in the mail?
No, or maybe I did, but I didn't open it. What is that?
Yeah, it's like so it's like this card that I have where when I go to my voting place, I can show it to, I guess, the person at the front door,
Mm-hmm.
and I go past the line.
Well, I'm sure they're not sending that to everyone, so I
They
probably
think
didn't.
they shouldn't have sent it to me because I don't vote for either one of these white dudes. Here's what I will say: do you wonder? Voting, right? You said everyone in New York City go vote, right? Here's the thing, Shannon. New York State is going to go to Joe
Well,
Biden.
yeah, but I'm just making a general announcement that early voting starts on Saturday.
I'm with you. I just want it to be for the public to know. For the overwhelming majority of you, your vote does not matter, right? If you live in Florida, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, there's a couple more I'm missing. Whatever. If you live in a swing state, your vote matters a lot. And this is kind of what I hate about the Electoral College, is that it makes the overwhelming majority of citizens, our vote matters not at all. Like California is the biggest state in the country, population-wise, and their votes almost don't matter at all because every year that they're going to vote blue.
Yep.
And so it doesn't matter if 5 million more people vote in California than they do in Ohio. I think that's messed up. And something that both Democrats and Republicans should look into for the future, because I think Republicans, I think they discount how much destroying the Electoral College might improve their chances to win the presidency. Because there are people that in blue states that never vote because they live in blue states. And so Republicans think if they get rid of the Electoral College that it helps Democrats. But I think they're discounting how many people there are who might vote Republican who just never vote because they live in a blue state.
Yep.
Right. So that's the end of the election talk.
I was going to read a graph of how many of the number of people that have voted early already in some of these swing states. Texas, it says that 5.9 million people have already voted. So that's good. Florida.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Florida 4.3 million. North Carolina 2.4, Georgia 1.9, Michigan 1.6, Ohio 1.4. It's going down as we get into smaller towns and smaller states. Pennsylvania 1.3, Wisconsin 1.1, Iowa 640. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but the point I was trying to make: Texas 5.9 million people have already voted, and Florida 4.3 million people have already voted. Now, I don't know what side they voted on, but that's pretty good for early voter turnout.
So, statistically speaking, Democrats are more likely to be the early voters. And that applies to me as well because I'm not a Democrat. I lean, libertarian, conservative, and I have no plans on voting early at all. For one reason, a lot of shit can happen in 13 days. And look,
I mean, a lot can happen in 13 days, but I would go vote early because there's nothing that can happen that's going to make me want to change my vote. So whatever. So
what do you mean? What if Joe Biden dies?
What do you mean? What if Joe Biden dies?
Then your vote for Joe Biden is literally useless.
I mean, I guess.
I'm just saying, like.
But stop putting that out in the universe.
No, you're right. I'm just saying. I like to vote on at the polls for a couple of reasons. Number one, things can happen between now and election day. Number two, I don't put money in the mail, Shannon.
Oh no, I do not trust mail-in voting at all. I don't, and I wish that more people also didn't trust mail-in voting. Like I understand seniors not wanting to leave their house to go vote. I understand that. Yeah, but if you're young, if you've been going out to the grocery store, if you've been hanging out with your friends, what is the reason for you to mail in your ballot? Go to the poll.
Totally agree. I've been looking at all these people that have been voting by mail. Like, good luck, because if we don't put money in the mail because we don't trust that the money's going to get to who we want it to get to, why in God's name would I put my vote? And by the way, it's not like an anonymous letter. It's postmarked that this is a voting ballot. Why would I put that in the mail? Insane. Yeah. So I will always vote at the polls. I will be voting on November 3rd. Now, I think we should make voting a national holiday. I agree with Bernie Sanders.
We definitely should. We definitely should.
A national holiday. Go ahead.
that would help with people waiting, because you hear these stories of people waiting online to vote like over 4 hours and all this other stuff. Making voting a holiday so that people can go all throughout the day and not a large group of people going at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. That would help. That would help a lot. And I don't know why that isn't already a holiday.
Well, I know why. We're going to get to it in the next 2 minutes. But
suppression?
Absolutely. But voting should be a national holiday. I agree with Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. Even some Democrats disagree with him. I don't understand. It should be a national holiday, number one. Number two, I think voting should start literally at midnight, all the way to the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. All day election day, and then we'll start counting votes. It's a national holiday. People get to stay up between like 12 and 2 and watch the results come in. But that's what I think should happen in this country. We need to make it easier for people to vote. And for me, I don't trust the mail-in ballot thing. I think what that means is we have to increase the voting time, expand the voting locations. Anywhere that can be turned into a voting poll should be schools, gyms, churches.
Yeah, and give some people work. Let more people give more people opportunities to be poll workers. First of all, I applied to be a poll worker and they didn't call me back. I don't understand why. But anyway, give more.
I don't want these people talking so close to me.
But yeah, give people more opportunity to work during the national pandemic.
Yeah.
International, global. Sorry, I don't know why I said national. Sorry.
Yeah, that's was it oxymoron? No, it's national pandemic. Global Shannon, what's going on with you?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm very tired. I've been up since 5:30 this morning. Continue.
No. This was going on for a couple of days. What did you say on
But I always I'm up since 5:30 every day, so I'm tired.
Okay, I get it. But to Shannon's point about why there's pushback to turning this into a national holiday, and this is something. Look, I am neither a Republican nor a Democrat, right? I'm like Shannon, an independent, but I register a certain way to vote. But look, man, here's something that Republicans have to own. The Republican strategy for winning races, whether that's state races, mayoral races, presidential races, their strategy is to limit the number of people that can vote from areas where they believe they will not get votes in support of their candidate. This is not an opinion. Like, there is no other side to what I just said. I am not one of these partisan people who are always talking bad about Republicans or always talking bad about Democrats. But what I said, I think Shannon would co-sign, what I just said. It can't be debated. Everywhere you look, it'll be these long-ass lines. People waiting 3-4 hours to vote because last year there was 30 polling locations open. This year it's 15, and then a year after that it's a 5. They want to create conditions where it is so stressful, so aggravating to vote that people will drive up, see the line, and they go home. That has to stop.
Yes, it does.
I don't think Republicans are particularly evil for doing this. I think they're doing this because it is politically advantageous. Here's what I mean. In a inverted world, Shannon, let's say if most of the electorate was Republican, I believe Democrats would do similar things. I think they would try to limit the number of people that can vote and only have the polling locations in areas where people lean Democrat in a Republican-heavy society. Republicans, if you want to win elections and you have any ounce of self-respect or any belief in this democracy that you claim to love so much, convince people with your arguments. If the electorate is leaning left, it is on you to give people a reason to lean conservative. Limiting voting times, closing down polling locations, these open you up for Democrats to call you guys racist because these things tend to happen in mainly black neighborhoods, black areas. Because now, I don't think they're doing it because they're black. I think they're doing it because Black people in these places don't vote conservative.
Mm-hmm.
If they did vote conservative, Shannon, I think, they wouldn't be waiting 3-4 hours, in line. But that's to stop either way.
It does. It does have to stop. And also, don't put your ballot in the mail. Sorry, I can't stress that enough. I know a lot of people have already done that, but I don't know why. I don't know why.
It's kind of a late message, Shannon.
You just won't go.
Don't put your ballot in the mail. A couple of them are gone already. So the voter suppression has to stop. African Americans. Now, here's one thing I don't get with Democrats, though. Year after year, they're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think by now there should be some type of democratic strategy for this? Like, if I was, a leader in the DNC and we have a presidential race coming up, I would tell my staff, all right, now we know these Reds are going to try and, suppress the vote. We know this. How come there's not some plan of action where, and here's what I mean, something as simple as, we're gonna rent out a bunch of buses so that we can take people from neighborhoods where the polls are closed, bus them to places where the polls are open, pass out chairs for old people and people so that they can sit down in line. If it's cold, give them hand warmers, blankets.
Yes.
How come nobody's doing this?
I agree with that, but the Democrats are also pushing mail-in ballots this year, which they shouldn't be.
Which was dumb.
I know. Exactly. It is dumb, but that's exactly why these conversations aren't being had for this election. Because of the pandemic, they are pushing mail-in ballots, which is, again, very stupid. Very stupid.
Okay, but why haven't they done this in past elections, though?
I have no clue. I don't know why I haven't done it in past elections.
It just seems like to me like we kind of know the playbook, but yet all we do is complain about it. Every presidential election, Shannon, there's a bunch of articles written about voter suppression. We get the memo. You know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Shannon, it's going to come in 2024. It is going to happen in 2024. What's the game plan?
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to complain and write articles and go on CNN and MSNBC about, oh my God, the Republicans, they're suppressing the vote.
Will we even be alive in 2024? I don't know. This is a serious question that I ask myself, but we'll see.
Well, that was a morbid thing to say, Shannon.
It is. Well, anyway, we should probably move on to the next thing.
Yes. All right. So Shannon, she brought this up. She wanted to talk about, people reacting to Trump's, Joe Biden's alleged tax plan, which plans on increasing taxes. I believe of those who make $400,000 and up.
$400,000 or more, which I've been seeing over social media, people complaining about this, and I'm just like, why are you complaining? Because I know that you don't make that much money. So, I know that 50 Cent said the other day that he would leave the country if Trump loses the election, and I'm pretty sure not a lot, but I'm pretty sure a good amount of people in the 1% feel this way because they don't want their money to be taxed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of in a half and half thing where it's like, I understand why they're upset, but I also don't care that they're upset. So if I was in the top 1% making millions of dollars a year and I found out that my income was going to get taxed 62%, which is a lot, I would probably be upset about that. But me being in the middle class, I don't care that these 1% people are sad or mad that their income is going to get taxed when the middle class has been getting taxed and we've been sparing the 1% all this time. So I don't really care. But I just don't understand.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Okay, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, so you're not upset that the people in the 1% are complaining because you kind of expect it. Is their money being taxed? They're going to complain and probably vote for Trump. You're saying that you don't understand why people who are middle and lower class are complaining about the tax increase.
I'm saying that, yes, that one. And two, also, I just think the 1% is being very selfish. And I don't care that they're upset. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
I understand what you're saying. Here's a possible rebuttal. Mm-hmm. And for those of you listening to the podcast right now, I want to apologize for this garbage truck that you hear in the background.
I don't hear anything. You're good.
No, it's always like that. Even when you say the same thing, I can't hear it because the Zoom has a built-in buffer. But remember, I'm recording
got it.
So they can hear it. So here's what I would say though. Sometimes people who are lower middle class, poor even, they complain about increases in taxes for a couple of reasons. Number one, Mike told me this about myself one time, and I have to admit he was right. That for a lot of us, we buy into the American dream. Mm-hmm. We all think that we have this shot at being a millionaire or something, and so we don't want to be taxed when we get rich. So no, it's true. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible thing that this country has done. It has deluded us into thinking that most of us are going to be millionaires. The overwhelming majority of you watching this video or listening right now, you are never going to sniff making $1 million.
That's not going to happen. It's probably very true. It's true.
No,
I agree
it is
with
true. It is true. Mm-hmm. It's not even close. Less than 10% of you, and it's probably smaller than that, will ever make $1 million in 1 year. Now, you might be able to make $1 million in a lifetime, but $1 million in a year, not going to happen for the overwhelming majority of you. So that's one reason why they complain, Shannon. Second reason why they complain, and this one is kind of valid. Usually when Democrats run on raising taxes for the rich, they mean it, mm-hmm. but they go on to raise taxes on the middle class once they're in office, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can't pay for any of these programs by taxing the rich for a couple of reasons. Number one, rich people can just leave. Number two, rich people can write off a bunch of shit, as deductibles when they do the taxes, pay themselves through corporations that aren't taxed, various loopholes. And so Democratic presidents, governors, and mayors, they still have to pay for things. And so they raise taxes on the middle class. And so for some people, they're looking at Joe Biden's plans and they're looking at what he's saying he's going to tax the rich to pay for it. They do the math and they realize there's no way he can pay for all of this stuff by just taxing people who make over $400,000. Mm-hmm. So he's lying, which means when he gets in there, he's probably going to raise my taxes, and he might raise my taxes at a similar rate to these rich people. Now, I don't think that's the case, but that's a second reason why. And the third reason why, Shannon, some people just view taking half of anybody's income as immoral.
More than that, but that's what I'm saying. I understand kind of why the upper 1% is mad, because 62% taxing 60%.
That's insane.
Taxing 62% of your income is insane. That's large. That's so much money. I would be mad too, but
no, I'm just explaining why somebody who is not going to be taxed that they could be opposed to it just from like a moral perspective.
Yeah,
it's not happening to them, but they morally feel like taking half of somebody's income, I don't care who it is in and of itself unethical. Mm-hmm. Right? So,
I understand that. But if Joe Biden is in fact, if he was able to just tax the rich and not tax the middle class at all, then I wouldn't care. You guys can get taxed 62% of your income. Better you than me, because
aren't you worried about that?
More money than me, huh?
But aren't you worried, because there is a flaw that I think liberals don't think about when you build your country on the backs of taxing rich people? Meaning, what happens if you don't have any more rich people? Like, that's what's happening in New York City right now.
I mean, that's true, because everyone's leaving. Yes.
Yeah. And so now what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Like, people think taxing the rich is like the end all be all. But what happens when there are no rich people to tax? Once again, rich people don't have to stay in America. Mm-hmm. Like, I keep thinking they do. They don't have to. And so what happens when you implement these tax policies, but then there's no rich people to tax?
Yeah, that's true.
Now what are you going to do?
That's also a problem. I didn't even think about that, but yes.
See, I'm not against more taxes, depending on what I get out of it. I will sign up to pay like an extra, because let's say in New York City, they wanted to increase sales tax. So like, you pay like an extra, 5 cents on everything, right? But you get like statewide universal health care. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a tax that I'm willing to put up with. Mm-hmm. I might be able to put up with it if they increased it by, you're going to pay extra 10 cents or more payroll tax. And so to me, I'm not against increased taxes necessarily. Mm-hmm. I would just like it to be for stuff that I actually think is doing society a favor. Yeah. And oftentimes I find that when we get in tax, it's for the military or it's for something else. Yeah. But it's never for things that I actually would want to be taxed more for. Mm-hmm. So I don't think people are against taxes. I mean, people are against their taxes being wasted. I think if you ask a lot of people, hey, would you mind getting taxed, an extra, $100, but when you go to the doctor, you never have to pay anything out of pocket.
Yeah.
You never. I think a lot of people will say, "Oh yeah,
constructive and beneficial programs that benefit a majority of the Americans." Yes.
Yeah. So totally agree.
And that is how you would pay for schools to have therapists. Extra taxes.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think people would, and then they could do what we do. They can get together. They can debate. You put it under. Speaking of, do you know what's on the proposition to vote for in New York City?
What?
Do you know what the propositions are going to be this year?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know either, and I'm worried. I hate getting to the ballot and then reading the prop for the first time, and I'm like,
it's
no one told me about this.
It's okay, Jabia. Spend as much time in the COVID-filled ballot
there you go.
as you can to make sure that you fill it out the way that you want to.
Oh man.
I better see somebody disinfecting my ballot little stand after everyone votes, which I know that's not going to happen, but it would be
nice. No, it's not going to happen, Shannon. Look,
I know, but I'm just saying it would be nice.
If you vote in, you going in there knowing that, I mean, you're touching some infected stuff.
Yeah. Just make sure you wash your hands when you leave there, people. Wherever your poll is, go to the bathroom and wash your hands after.
Exactly. Don't touch it. Run home if you have to. Run home.
Don't touch your phone. Don't touch
anything. Yep. Yeah. Or even better, come to the polling location with gloves.
Yeah.
Then once you leave the polling location, the first garbage can you find, take your gloves off, throw it in the garbage bin. That's even better. So COVID. Couple of things that I want to say about COVID.
Oh, before we get into COVID, I just want to say that I got my first COVID test ever on Wednesday, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. I was
irresponsible.
What? It's not completely irresponsible, but I did it. So I'm just gonna say.
How was your first COVID test? How was this your first your first COVID test?
I don't know. I feel like I didn't have a reason to get a COVID test before.
So what happened?
Nothing. They were just doing it at my job for free, and it was rapid testing. So I got my results in like 2 hours. So that's why So that's why I just did it, just to do it. And first of all, I have a very low tolerance for pain, so I was very afraid to get something shoved up my nose.
Oh, the one that I got.
Huh?
The one that I got.
Yes. But it actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. So I was like, hey, I could do this more often now that I know it isn't that bad. But I guess it also depends on who's doing it. So I don't know.
No, I think they changed the test. Now, here's the thing. The rapid testing, I don't think it's as efficient. Meaning, I think it has like it's like 75% accurate because it's rapid. And so, so now that doesn't mean that they're useless. What you're supposed to do with rapid testing, like at your job, is you get tested every time you go to your job. And so, if you catch the coronavirus, if you're getting tested like every day, you're going to hit a positive test rate, within at least 2 days or 3 days. So that's the effectiveness of the rapid testing. It's not useless. I got my testing in the early part of this stuff, but kind of later, right? So it wasn't like back in March, April. I got a test like I think at August or maybe July, and I got the one where it took the thing, stuck it, you feel it on like the right side of your brain. They're going around your nostrils for 8 seconds, dude.
Oh yeah, that didn't happen. That was not the test I got. That did not happen to me.
I was crying. I had tears going. Here's the thing. They expect
But I think tearing up is a natural reaction to having something shoved up. Because I teared up too, but it wasn't because it hurt. It was just because it was my body reacting to something being up there.
No, it hurt. And it burned.
Yeah.
My nostril was burning. My eyes was twitching. The guy, he gave me a tissue. He said, here you go. Because everyone was crying. So
yeah, I was crying too. I had tissue also. But
get tested, people. Get tested.
Yes. I was thinking the other day, sorry, this is way off topic. I know we're supposed to be actually talking about the news, but if rapid testing was more widely available, it could help with a lot of things because you could have it set up like when people are traveling, you can have rapid testing at the airport, and you just make it mandatory for people to show up for their flight like 4 hours before so everyone could get a rapid test. I know it's not realistic, but I'm just saying if it was super widely available, it could be very beneficial in a lot of ways.
That's how they're using it in some locations in New York City. Like to your point, a lot of corporations are implementing rapid testing for their jobs, but they can afford to pay. See, the rapid testing works best for big corporations or entities already, because they have the income to usually buy these tests from private corporations. Doing it public is going to be a little bit harder to implement because that requires taxpayer money versus corporations, but these corporations have an incentive to buy these tests. I don't think airports or airplane companies have any incentive to buy these things because they're just transporting back and forth. So if you have COVID or not, doesn't impact them at all.
Yeah.
Right. Versus at your job, it impacts them if you have COVID, because if you get sick and you get half of the team sick, now, half of our labor force is out home sick.
Well, these people that are maybe not for airports, but maybe like if people are, because people are still going on vacation, which I don't know how, but maybe like resorts can benefit from this before having somebody that's COVID positive come into their resort and spread COVID everywhere. They could rapid test.
But once again, Shannon, do they have an incentive? Once again, if you have COVID, but how?
I mean, I don't know. If you don't want a COVID outbreak on your resort where you'll then have to shut down your entire resort while you paying to get cleaning done for COVID is expensive. But why?
Yeah, but number one, you can't prove that you caught COVID on my establishment is number one.
I mean, that's true, but if you have COVID, no, I'm not saying that they caught COVID on their establishment, but if people are checking into your resort and somebody checks in and they have COVID and therefore they spread COVID to 80% of the people staying on your resort, that's going to have implications for the resort. They're going to have to shut down. They're going to have to pay.
I get it. Yeah. Yes. You don't want your resort in the news as, okay, there's a COVID outbreak and, contact tracers traced it back to, so that makes sense. You're right. Totally agree with you. Yeah. But I guess we agree. Our larger point is that the reason why you have rapid testing in some places is just because corporations have a financial incentive to spend the money to test their employees.
Yep.
In a capitalist society, everything comes down to dollars and cents, unfortunately. So speaking of COVID, Halloween is coming up.
Yes, Halloween is coming up.
It doesn't feel like it though. This does not feel like,
because we're in a pandemic.
It doesn't. Yep. I was telling somebody my birthday is like in 3 days, and I don't feel like it's my birthday coming up at all because it doesn't feel like October.
What is today? I don't even know the days of the week anymore. Today's the 23rd, right? Yeah. 26th.
Yes.
Is your birthday?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't feel anything though. It doesn't feel like October. It doesn't feel like my birthday. Usually I'll be at work, flirting with my work wife, or at home, working on some things and with my friend Julian. None of those things are happening. So it doesn't feel like October. Halloween's coming up. It doesn't feel like Halloween at all. I haven't seen the usual. No, I also haven't been out, but usually you'll see stores begin to sell Halloween stuff. And I've seen some things here or there, but I don't know. It's like the feeling is not in the air.
Yeah. I was very surprised. I didn't even think, because usually over by where I live, Spirit of Halloween opens up here every season. And I was very surprised that they opened this season.
Wait, Spirit of Halloween?
Yeah. It's a Halloween store that opens every year. Like they usually pop up in like an empty building and they operate there for the month of October, end of September into October. So I was surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised that they opened up this year. I was like, wow.
Are they selling Halloween stuff?
What are people doing? Yeah, like, and I just feel like I know that some very few people I've heard talking about like, oh, what they want to be for Halloween this year. I'm like, why are you bothering to dress up for Halloween this year? What are you doing? This just doesn't seem like a year to spend your money on a Halloween costume.
Well, Shannon makes a great point, because something needs to be said, and I'm gonna say it. If you're out there, right, going to any Halloween party, dressing up, thinking that you're gonna, I don't know, go to somebody's friend's house, we're all wearing masks. All of you, and I mean all of you.
Liars. People don't wear masks in their homes, by the way. People that have these like little house parties, everyone that goes to the house, no one has a mask on. So
no, I'm with you. I'm just saying. Yeah. Some people remember before when we discussed mask wearing, and we had to make it a point that mask wearing does not mean you get to not socially distance. Mm-hmm. Like you have to do the two things together.
Yep.
People think some Shannon, they can go to their friend's house, they can go to some parties, Everyone's wearing masks. That's fine. No, it's not fine. You're dancing. You're huffing and puffing. You're expelling God knows how many particles into the sky. You're going to at some point pull your mask down to breathe, to talk to some girl in her ear, to say something. Like, it is a disaster. Cancel Halloween. Matter of fact, cancel. Everything's canceled, people. My birthday is canceled. Halloween is canceled. Thanksgiving should be canceled. Christmas is canceled. Everything is canceled.
Wait. Okay, let's.
Oh, shit, like that. Go ahead, Shannon.
Christmas and Thanksgiving don't need to be canceled. It can still be celebrated just with the people in your household.
Yeah, but that's whack.
I mean, yeah, but don't cancel Christmas. I still want my Christmas gifts. My Christmas tree is still going up. We're just going to celebrate with the people in my house, and that's it. But Halloween should definitely be canceled. Do not go out. And, people are not going to listen to this because young people feel as if their lives have to go on, and they don't care about the fact that it is dangerous. All they care about is their lives and that they go on normally.
Here's the problem.
I just really wish that people were not as self-absorbed to just like sit down and do nothing this Halloween. Just like one Halloween, hopefully. Just let it go. Let it go. We'll revisit this next year.
I agree with Shannon, but here's the thing. It needs to be beaten to these people's heads. Everything you need to do to not catch the coronavirus, you have to do to trick or treat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this goes for you parents out there that are going to be, doing the stupid shit, having your children out there trick or treating, holding their hands. Number one, you have to be within 6 feet of me to knock on my door and wait for me to open it and for me to hand you the candy. We're talking. Usually, Shannon, what happens, knock, trick or treat. It is like a small conversation. I give you some candy and you go on your way. Now, you do that to every fucking neighbor in the neighborhood. Either you're going to catch this thing or you're going to give it to somebody else. You know why? Like Shannon said, I don't wear a mask in my house. So when I open the door, it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And I might put on a mask probably the first 3 or 4 times somebody knocks on my door. But then I'm going to forget one time or get tired of doing it for every single time. Now, this is if I trigger. I don't celebrate Halloween in general, not for any, religious reasons or anything. Mm-hmm. I just don't want a bunch of strangers knocking on my door. The coronavirus is not stopping because you are tired of following the rules. That's the main point to drive home here. Halloween is coming up, and within the next 14 days, it needs to be drilled into these parents' head. It is still a pandemic. It is still a pandemic. It is still a pandemic. Matter of fact, the pandemic is going into its second wave.
Yeah, numbers are going up, so this is definitely not the time to be hanging out in large groups of people.
At all. Don't do it. Now, unlike
but people
Shannon,
are still going to do it because they don't listen. So that is the reality that we're in.
I mean, I'm more sympathetic than you are because I told you on numerous occasions, Shannon, that lust is a strong emotion. Halloween is just a lust holiday. Nobody wants to say it. That's all it is. It's a holiday where a bunch of people get to dress up, adults especially adult women, get to dress up in provocative outfits, not feel bad about it, and bump and grind on each other for a couple of hours. That's a strong impulse. You gotta ignore it. Just think about being in space with no helmet.
And Halloween is on a Saturday this year, which is also makes it worse. I think it wouldn't have been as bad if Halloween was on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, but it's on a Saturday, so that's even worse.
What's the usual rollover until like the hospitalizations go up from like a certain day, like 14 days?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 14 days from the 31st, I think we're going to see a large jump in hospitalizations for coronavirus. Unfortunately, but yeah.
Yep.
Too strong, Shannon. Too strong.
Doomed. It's a doomed day. Yep.
Right. So, on our last story here, we made it, by the way, with this hour thing.
Yeah, we did. Definitely.
I'm shocked. Especially with you trying to derail the conversation like 3 times. Zoom school. There was an article that I put in our little note sharing with Shannon. parents complaining, or not kids complaining actually, about Zoom learning. Now, everything in this article is actually obvious to me, right? So multiple students are discussing how remote learning is causing them to have headaches. They're stressing out. They have no time to do anything else. COVID is already a stressful time, and the online schooling is kind of just adding to the stress. My mother is a teacher, so she does the Zoom teaching thing from like 9 to like 3 o'clock. It's constant, really. I think she has like a half hour, for like lunch or like break. But then it's back to the Zoom after that. Staring at your screen is not a healthy thing. People don't know this, but I have these glasses that I have.
Oh, those are the whatchamacallit glasses. I was gonna buy a pair of those too. So
these glasses, I don't wear them on my Zoom because you can see like the thing in my glasses. But when I'm working, I wear these. And these glasses, what they're for, I was working, during the pandemic, and then one day my eyes felt I don't know, it was painful to look at a screen.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you're staring. I want to get a pair of those. Where'd you get those from?
I bought these from Amazon, actually. It's pretty good. I got 2 pairs for like $30.
What are they called again?
I don't know. So I just looked up computer eye strain glasses. Okay. And basically what these do is they filter the blue light. Yeah. And that's what causes like the headaches and the eye strain.
They're called blue light glasses. That's what they're called.
Oh, yeah, whatever. And so when I was working and I was trying to do some work for my brother, it was hard to look at the screen. I was like, what's going on? Is because I was doing so much computer stuff, significantly more since the start of the pandemic.
Wow. Sorry.
Are you good?
Huh?
What happened?
Oh, wait, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh. I don't know why that happened.
My bad. When I was working on the computer for my brother, and I literally, Shannon, couldn't look at the screen. I was squinting. It was like hard to look. And then I Googled my symptoms, and they said, this is computer eye strain. And they were talking about how, sitting before a computer screen, I think this is also the case for TV, but more so for computer screens, for like a certain amount of time, your eyes get strained because you can't see it, but there's a blue light that is constantly being projected into your eyes when you're staring at a screen. So when I bought these, I was kind of shocked at how much it took care of the problem for me. And whenever I do any long-term work in a computer, I wear these glasses. And so the students' complaints are 100% true. I don't understand how teachers do not. Well, let me not say that because it's not like they would know.
Oh my God! Why is this happening to me? How do you turn this off? Sorry.
You have FaceTime on your laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't know how to turn it off though. You got to.
Oh Lord! I feel like this is the first time that this has happened to me. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I'm kind of shocked that they didn't think about this when they started the Zoom stuff. But then again, I didn't think about it. So
it all happened. Zoom learning and online remote learning happened so quickly. I feel like there was no time to think about any of this. So I know a couple of teachers and they were kind of just like thrown into it and had very little time to prepare. So
yeah. So what I would tell parents, get your kids a pair of these glasses. They are extremely affordable. I got 2 pair of glasses for like $30. They're very good, like a universal fit. And when your child is doing their Zoom work, tell them to put these on. Now,
what about if you already wear glasses?
I was just about to say that. I don't know because I wear glasses. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. You don't remember?
Oh, yeah, duh. But I just never. But you just don't wear them now because
of the glare.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But when I'm outside, I wear my glasses. So for me, I'm not. Which one is it? I'm not. Which one is it when you can't see up close?
You're the one that wears glasses. I don't know. Well, I think that's farsighted, nearsighted. I don't know.
I think it's nearsighted. Oh, put it like this. Let's just keep it simple. I can see from up close.
Okay.
And so for me, not putting these on doesn't bother my vision.
Oh, so you're nearsighted? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm nearsighted, and so putting these on and working from my laptop or my computer that's on my TV screen that I have right in front of me is just fine. It's not far enough where I need my glasses. If you are someone who is nearsighted, if you are someone who can't see up close,
then it would be a problem.
Then it's a problem. You might have to look into getting special glasses. You know.
Yeah, I was about to say they probably make those with a prescription in it or
Oh yeah,
whatever it's called. Yeah.
yeah, but they cost money. This
Yeah.
is like
Oh
a
yeah.
solution for kids who either they can see close
Yeah.
just fine, or they don't wear glasses. This is a
Mhm.
possible solution that I wanted to pass on to people who don't know about wearing, these glasses to
Yeah.
protect your eyes from an eye strain. But other than that, Zoom school, I think, is going to be a failure. I don't think these kids are learning shit.
No.
Shannon, I was explaining to somebody, I don't remember anything I learned in high school. I remember all of the girls that I flirted with or had crushes on, but I don't remember anything.
Yeah, also, yeah, they're not going to retain any information, and also they're much more unmotivated to go to school because it's not like people like going to school for the interaction only. People don't like with the exception of a few. People don't like going to school to learn, again, with the exception of a few. People go to school mainly for the interaction with their friends, which they are not getting in Zoom learning. They're sitting in their house all day, staring at a computer. And like, I would hate that. Like, I would hate having to do that. But let me ask you this, though. Do you feel that in-person school, or do you feel that, oh my God, I can't put what I'm trying to say into words. Do you think that kids being able to go to school and have that social interaction outweighs
The risk
the
of getting the
possibility of
coronavirus.
catching COVID? Yeah.
Oh, this is tough. Now, full disclosure, I don't have any kids. I don't think. All right, that's number one. Number two, the evidence says that children overwhelmingly do better with this coronavirus than almost any demographic in this country. Right? That's number two. See, I think, but, especially if we're talking about New York City schools. One of the problems, schools were always overpacked.
Mm.
Like for the room, if you think about it, Shannon, growing up, there was like 25, 30 of us in a small classroom with one teacher. That was always unhealthy. It's part of the reason why kids get so sick, normally, is because what happens in the wintertime? The windows are closed.
Yep.
Because it's cold. The heat is on, but the kids are packed together, and so all these virus particles and stuff are just going from student to student, and that's why kids get sick so much. But with the coronavirus, luckily for us, they seem to get less sick than the general population.
But the problem isn't the kids, though. It's the kids then going home to their parents.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Though, maybe we just need to, I don't know, man. It's tough to say because kids, depending on high schoolers, should be in school, I think.
Mm-hmm. But I don't even think, I would be okay, I don't know. It's hard too. And then Trump is pushing schools need to open. But are schools even prepared to open safely? Do they have the proper ventilation that you need to filter out the virus that's in the ventilation that they were requiring all malls to have when malls opened? Don't you also need to have those in the schools? Do we have those in the schools?
First of all, I highly doubt it. But number two, the aerosol transmission is actually, yes, it can happen, but that's not the main mode that this thing travels. It's mainly droplets from one person to another. Kids don't do well with directions. Kids, like this, would it even be school, Shannon? Like you said, school, the upside to school is the interaction that you can have with your peers, your classmates.
Mm-hmm.
Would it even be school, though, Shannon, if the kids can't do kid stuff? So they can't talk to their friends. They can't gather around the lunch table and do the things kids do. I mean, what's the difference between being at home and being in school if you're removing all of the parts of school that make school school?
Mm-hmm.
That's another question that you have. And so it's an extremely stressful situation for everybody. I have no idea what the solution is, but just dealing with the reality for the Zooming parents, get these glasses that I told you to get. But I do think schools need to look into, okay, maybe there's some ways we can shorten the day. I don't see the reason why Zoom school has to be as long as school. Maybe we should need to cut back on the curriculum. Teach them, look, special times call for special solutions. Maybe teach them a core curriculum, Shannon.
Yeah.
Math, English, reading, writing. What else they learn in school? Science.
Yeah. Maybe if they were considering opening school, not having everyone be there at the same time. Like maybe they can split up the day into 2 halves and like you're the morning half. So you go to school in the morning and then you have like how many hours a day is school normally? 8?
Usually from 8 to 3, I think, right?
7. Okay, so 7 to 8 hours in a school day. People, I mean, that's a lot though. I was gonna say people could go to this. They could have a morning half where people go to school physically in the morning, and then you go home, and then you have like another Zoom class or you have homework, and then you have an afternoon half where kids go to school in the afternoon from like 1 to 3. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Split it up into.
No, I'm with you. The problem, Shannon, though, is that parents.
Yeah. Parents. That's another thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Parents use schools pretty much as de facto babysitters, right? And so you can only be but so flexible with times. When
that could only work for high school. It couldn't really work for, and maybe middle school. It couldn't work for like anything.
Elementary. Yes. Yeah. And so you leave like a bunch of parents at the mercy of well, I can't have my school doing this, morning shift and afternoon shift because I gotta be at work from 9 to 5. So who's gonna pick up my child? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? And so, like I said, it's a stressful situation for everybody involved. Any solution is going to be a pain in the ass to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so right now, Zoom is the thing, and I just wanted to pass the information on to the parents. Get your kids these little glasses here. It will change their life. So
I'm gonna get a pair too.
You should.
Because all I do is look at a computer all day, and it's horrible.
All right. So that's an hour of news for you guys. I'm shocked we got it done.
I know.
Got it done.
I just want to throw out, if you haven't listened to our Lovecraft Country episode yet, you should, because we did that, and that was out this week. And
yes, also, it was.
I was going to tease next week, but I don't know what we're talking about next week. So,
I mean, you didn't pick a topic.
I picked the last topic, so it's your turn to pick a topic.
Okay, so I'm gonna be very excited. Now, I still don't have no idea what it's gonna be, but I will give some thought to it. The Monday discussions are always great. You guys should make sure you check that out. We're gonna have another great one for you guys this upcoming Monday. I think that's anything else you have to say, Shannon? Or?
No, I think I'm good.
Shannon is good. I'm good as well. Thank you guys for another week of the news portion of the podcast. We will see you guys on Monday. Until next time, deuces.
Bye.